Hello everyone, welcome back to the Roundtable Qualifier Tournament. We're here with a finished round of 16 bracket results on your screen here, and there's only one thing left to do before we get into next week. It's time for the quarterfinals map pool showcase. I'm Dio, once again back with another caster, my fellow map pooler Jamara, to go through the quarterfinals map pool showcase with me.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Good to be on with the map pooler this time around.
Yeah.
So just for anybody who is new here, since I know we have a lot of new faces watching right now in chat, the map pool showcase is going to be a little bit different from a usual format. It's only going to take us about 30 minutes. We're going to do quick 1-minute clips of each map so that you can get what's going on in the map. We can talk about it real quick and then move on to the next map. So without any further ado, we're going to go ahead and get right into things, starting off with our Nomad 1. Nomad 1 in quarterfinals. This map here, relatively standard. I mean, there's not a lot going on with this map outside of just straight up jumps and a couple bursts here and there. It's a very, very stock standard Nomad 1, and if you've played in tournaments before, you've probably seen this map.
Yeah, this map has some streams in it as well, which might trouble a lot of people, but we're using the MYT edit instead, which nerfs a lot of the streams and buffs the CS. So it's definitely much more focused on it. Yeah, coming into the last Kia here, we get some back and forths.
Yeah, very simple map. About 7.25 stars or so, which is kind of where we wanted this round to be, just ever so slightly harder than qualifiers or right around the same area. This Nomad 2 Suafotten Field by Demetori. It's mapped by It's Winter. 200 BPM streams and a bit more stamina focus than the last stream map that we had. A little bit higher star rating as well.
Yeah, we tuned down the spacing a bit for this map, and it incorporates a lot more weird flow than the previous map.
I don't think players who are familiar with tournaments will be unfamiliar with this style of mapping, though. We kind of wanted to make sure that we didn't just do stock standard flow aim into stock standard flow aim into stock standard flow aim all tournament long, because the last two Nomad 2s in qualifiers and round of 16 were both pretty straightforward maps. Like, there wasn't a lot going on with the flow aim in those, so this one is a little bit less straightforward, but I mean, if you're a stream player and you have the stamina for this, you're not going to find the flow aim too crazy. It's not like you're getting a gimmick tech map or anything.
Alright, next up, we have Nomad 3, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce this name. It is a collab between Flake and I think Moth, maybe?
Kind of looks like a Moth map. Does kind of look like a Moth map. So this map does some flow aim stuff, but way less than last week's. This is, I think, the first Nomad 3 we have that's really heavily focused on like snap aim, super awkward aim control types of stuff. There are some longer alt flow aim note chains in this, but you can see during this last GI that there's just a ton of snappier aim going on in this map. And that's going to be made really apparent when we get some of the even more difficult patterns in this map to come through. There's some what are basically just back and forth super high BPM jumps in this as well. Here we go.
Yeah.
There they are. Star jumps.
Very recognizable style of mapping.
Very nice play from Araxi on that map. And now we get our No Mod 4. This is another relatively tricky No Mod 4. It's Fallout by Kuro. It's Citrus remix. And this is kind of similar to the No Mod 4 from last stage, I feel like. It's a lot lower BPM. It's 178 BPM instead of 180. But very, very similar in mapping style. You get a lot of kind of cut streams, some more wiggle streams in this one that you couldn't get on 200 BPM because that would be absurd for a round of 16 map. But a lot of the slider shapes feel really similar in this map, I feel like. And aside from the changes in how it handles flow aim, I think that this is a relatively similar map to the one we had last weekend.
Yeah, for sure. If you liked last week's map, you're definitely going to like this map. Something that this map does a bit differently than the previous map is that there are also a lot more like overlapping streams and like sliders, as you can see like right here.
Yeah, so a bit more reading intensive than just focused on the pure mechanics, and a little bit more. I feel like a little bit more gimmicky. Like there's more going on in this map than just the slider aim from the last one that feels really super gimmicky, whereas the last one just kind of had like cut streams and slider aim, and that was most of what was going on.
All right, I think a lot of you are gonna recognize this next map.
Yeah,
lovely Ice Cream Princess Sweetie, map by Daramak.
Yeah, so we had a lot of discussion in the map pooling chats about what we were gonna put for this map for this slot because we really didn't know. We were trying to figure out what we wanted to put for the longest time, and we finally just settled on this map because it did kind of the pure reading style that we wanted out of this pick. It's not necessarily low AR, but it is still definitely a reading pick. And it's also a really popular map. I think this is going to be a relatively popular map during the weekend as well.
Yeah, make sure you practice this one, players.
I see a lot of people thinking that this might just be permabanned. I feel like a lot of tournament players are familiar with this though, because this has been around for quite some time as a tournament pick. So I'm not entirely sure whether we'll see this picked, but I do think that it's going to be an interesting one way or another. Next up is Our Way by G2, Kadoka's Extra Difficulty. This is a relatively well-known map as well, and one that just goes absolutely hard for awkward aim kind of all throughout the map.
So 236 BPM. So it is faster than last week's, I believe. Yeah, last week was 190 BPM.
This one's also not AR9. We got a lot of complaints in qualifiers about there being too many density checks in Hidden. This is still kind of a density check because of the BPM, but it is AR 9.7. So, like, it's not actually low approach rate, which I think is something that a lot of people will welcome, given that we had another AR 9 awkward aim map in Hidden for last pool. I think this Hidden map pool is a lot more diverse than the previous one, which has been an issue for round of 16 at least. Also a banger. Also, definitely a banger.
True. All right,
And
next up for Hidden 2, we have Garland Saga, mapped by King Baxter. This is another reading slot, but it's very different from what we have in No Modifier. This is low AR, and it also starts playing into more of that grid style, as you see here.
also, the hit sounds are very loud, so when you're playing this, you may want to turn down the hit sounds. They are quite loud in this map. Like Jimmy said, this is pretty much just straight up grid snap aim low AR hidden. There's some kind of funky stuff with the rhythm at some points. Like, it is not the same rhythm. You cannot just autopilot this map because you will get punished for it. But it's not exactly like super tricky rhythm either. There are some overlapping patterns and things like that that keep you on your toes, but it's nothing super crazy. It's a fitting difficulty for quarterfinals. I think we went a little bit too easy for round of 16 in the Hidden 2, and I think this one fits pretty well for this round. All right, next up, the Hidden 3 in this pool. This is another flow aim focused map, just like the Hidden 3 from last weekend. It's Forbidden Light by Paku, AK-74 and Garden's Ultra difficulty on Gibbon's set. 169 BPM, so very low BPM stream flow aim in this map. And just from the very start of it, you can see exactly what goes on in this map for the entire 2 minutes of this song. I mean, just cut streams, accel, decel, space streams, curly, wiggle streams, every type of flow aim you could want is in this map. And I think there's a much bigger focus on flow aim in this map as compared to Shine from last week.
Yeah, a lot of really random cuts in some places that players are going to need to watch out for. Yeah, this section is a bit more tame with some more of that slidering instead of pure raw flow aim, but it does come back eventually.
All right, next up in the pool, we have another kind of interesting pick in Dead or Die by Red Alice, the expert difficulty. This is a speed check in the hidden mod pool. And it's one that does a couple of other things besides speed. In the middle of the map, you get this really wonky 1/3 speed up section. I don't even know if it's 1/3. I think it's just a speed up section that can really catch players off. Even if you're a very good speed player like Jackson is here, you may have trouble on this speed up section as there's pretty high spacing, difficult finger control on all these quads in this section as well. Tons of quads and doubles in this part. So this is a map that really rewards good finger control and good reading on hidden in addition to the speed. Like, you can't just be a good speed player to pick this, although that is a big part of the map.
Yeah, there's a slot that we've been moving around a lot in this map pool. Like last week we had a speed pick in hard mode, but this time we're putting in hidden 4 and we're trying to make it a bit more full flavor instead of just that raw speed.
Yeah, essentially we want the speed slots outside of the DT pool to be contestable for players who are not speed players, but can still play speed well enough. These should not be free wins for speed players, and I think that this accomplishes that pretty well while still keeping with the spirit of what is usually in the hidden pool for tournaments, reading focused, flow aim focused sorts of maps. And now for Hard Rock 1, we have the biggest banger in the pool, Hunger by Amaranth. Desire Diff, mapped by Green here. This map just goes, man. This is such a fun map to play. Very, very good song. Really interesting patterns pretty much all throughout the map here as well. I think a lot of aim players will enjoy this map, burstiness aside.
Yeah. A bit faster than the Nomad ones, comes in at 200 BPM, but I don't think that should be too much of an issue for the players.
I don't think 200 BPM will be too much of an issue on this map for pretty much anybody. There's a couple of stream sections here near the end of the pick that might pose an issue for a couple of slower players, especially because they do accelerate into those space streams, right? So if you are a little uncomfortable on the 200 BPM, you may want to practice those streamier patterns near the end of this map if you're FCing the rest and just getting caught off by those patterns. Kind of similar to Nomad 1 in that regard, that it is a little bursty, but I think the flow aim component in Nomad 1 is actually much lower than the flow aim component in this map. There's a little bit more going on in this map than just the raw aim consistency.
Yeah. Alright, next up, Hard Rock 2 is we're trying something new this week with the slot.
Yeah.
I'll let you explain it.
Sure. So this map is pretty much as pure precision as we could get. We wanted something that was literally just a precision aim test, with nothing else in the map, because all the other things that we wanted to do in the Hard Rock pool were pretty much covered by the point that we were looking for a Hard Rock 2. So we looked to a Sunny Sea map, notorious for mapping in like modernized old style for Sunny Sea. Lots of 1-1 jumps, lots of really high spacing, and it is CS 7.8. So if you're good at very small circles, you will be good at this map. That is the only requirement to play this map. You have to have really good aim and be very, very precise with it. There is absolutely nothing else going on in this map, which is very rare to see for any map whatsoever.
Precision players rejoice. This is your pick.
Yeah, not everyone will like this pick, and that's fine, but we think it does the job of precision aim very well, and that's why it's here. And with that, like I said, we had a lot of other skills already covered by a lot of other stuff in the map pool. The Clockwork Rose for Hard Rock 3 by Hatsukiura definitely covers more than a few skill sets.
Yeah, this is an alt map, but it's pretty snappy and also incorporates a lot of finger control elements in it, with a lot of 1-6 and random placement. Yeah, those back and forth patterns is something that is going to happen a lot in this map.
Yeah, this map is a lot of things happening all at the same time. Like you said, the kind of back and forth aim patterns, the sort of random 1-6. I know there's a couple of 1-8 triples in this map as well. There's a lot of stuff going on here. In short, it's kind of similar to Alt Future from last week, but I think much more bursty, much more 1-6 and 1-8 heavy, like you just saw with the Quint there. That was a 1-8 Quint. So there's a lot of really high BPM bursty stuff going on in this map at the same time as you have the same sorts of flow aim requirements that were in Alt Future in round of 16.
Alright, next up we have Hard Rock 4. I think is another map people will recognize. And it is a Fat Yoshi Spin. It's Hesperos.
Yoshi Spin!
Mapped by Osilica. It's a tech pick.
Any Yoshi lovers in chat? Love Yoshi. Yeah, this is just a tech map. There's not a ton going on here. This was OWC round of 16 in 2021, so it's been about a year and a half since this was first used in that tournament. Very classic Osilica style. Lots of accelerating, decelerating streams, a lot of cut double streams, a little bit of finger control here and there, lots and lots of slider aim all throughout. And with Hard Rock, all of those things just get way, way harder. Basically, we kind of swapped the positions of the tech map from Hidden 4 and speed map in Hard Rock 4. So for quarterfinals, you have different positions for those maps. And a lot of the rest of the pool is structured in mostly the same way, but we wanted to keep things from getting too stale. So besides obviously changing the maps, change up the format a little bit. And that's going to continue next week as well. So keep on your toes for next week's map pool format, because you may just not get exactly what you're expecting in every slot. All right, and now for DT1, it's another very classic map, Children of Hell by Muzzy. AR 10.3, 263 BPM, OD 9.8, 3 minutes and 46 seconds after double time. This is a really consistency-heavy DT aim pick, and one that is classic for the fact that it is that heavy consistency focus.
Yeah, a bit of a hood classic. I think a lot of people will like this map.
Yeah, it's pretty much just all generic aim. There's a little bit of slider aim, a little bit of burst in this as well. Back in the day, people used to call this a slider-heavy DT aim map, and now it's just a DT aim map with like a couple more sliders in it than usual. But there's no real slider aim component to this whatsoever, and as you can see, it's pretty straightforward overall. There's a couple of bursts here and there during the harder parts of the map. The jumps tend to get a little more highly spaced at certain parts, but this has been in tournaments year over year for a reason. It's a very, very consistent pick.
All right, next up for Double Time 2, somewhat similar to last week, we have Killing Time in Space. This is mapped by Saika OK1, and it is a finger control map.
Yeah, very, very streamy finger control map. This map has tons of doubles basically all over the place, a lot of even-numbered bursts, but it follows those up with really long streams that are just one after the other. So it never gives you a chance to rest and recover the stamina at pretty much any point during this map.
It's about 10 BPM faster than last week, so I think there are going to be some players that might have more trouble on this.
I think a lot of speed players will be happy to see BPM above 225, above 230 for this week. We kept things a little bit slow last week as we were just kind of easing into the DT stamina picks, but for this weekend we went finally above 230 BPM, and I think for good reason. This map does a pretty good job of testing the stamina alongside a little bit of finger control. And now for DT3, we have another certified hood classic. It's Sky High by Jun Ishikawa, the Sky difficulty, mapped by LRJ, also known as a Koro, actually. Or those
I didn't know that.
Unaware, yeah, that would be a Koro. A Koro mapped this back in 2010.
Yeah, this is pretty different from last week's DT3. Last week, we kind of had some aim incorporated into dice, but this week is no aim. It's all bursts, as you can see.
Yeah, this is just straight up bursts. There's not a lot else to talk about here. It's 264 BPM bursts over and over and over again. We weren't sure exactly the order in which to put things, just because like DICE has the aim requirements and this doesn't. So shout out to Curtis for telling us the order to put these two maps so that we can put them in the right order and keep things progressive in difficulty. All right, last map in the normal mod pools. It's DT4. Another certified banger for DT4. The 89's Momentum by Muke. Extra diff, mapped by Ganyu My Mommy. This is another AR 10.5 kind of alt-style map. Similar to last week. This one's CS4 instead of CS0. This one also way, way more finger control heavy. There are 1/6 in this, and it's 192 BPM after DT. So that's like 288 BPM, I think, burst whenever you see a 1/6 in this map.
And like along with the AR 10.5 component, I think we might see some B ranks on this week. This is a very hard map to read.
Yeah, this is a really good song, really fun map to play. If you can read AR 10.5 and burst 288 for the burst that exists in this map. There's a small subset of people who can do that. So for those of you who can this weekend, enjoy this map. For those of you who can't, I'm sorry in advance. And now, for the last map in the pool, it is Lies in Reality by Felt, the Reflection Diff mapped by Vanya 2. I actually found this map because the mapper came into my chat and requested a map review. And I got a graveyard 7.5-star tiebreaker off of doing map reviews on stream. So I'm gonna say W. This is a remap of a classic song. Everyone knows the Captain map set of this map. This one still keeps the space stream at the end. I'm sorry, Araxi. I had to show the space stream. I'm sorry, man. Look, his score otherwise is really good, okay? He got 2K combo. Pay attention to the combo in the bottom left. I'm sorry. I had to do him dirty.
Yeah, this got ranked pretty recently. Last month, December 18th.
Aside from the couple of space stream patterns in this map, this is really a consistency-focused tiebreaker, as is the Captain's map set, right? There's a couple of interesting rhythm choices in this map. Like, there's some 1-8 rhythm choices in this, and some 1-6 rhythm choices that feel very weird if you're just expecting Captain's rhythm choices. So I would advise players to at least look at this map in the editor so that they can expect some of the kind of different rhythm choices that go on here, because there's a lot of muscle memory for a lot of players on this song. And with that, that is all of our replays done. That is everything for now. So thank you to everyone for watching. And that's actually all we have. That's everything right there. We are pretty much all good to go at this point. We're gonna get the map pool on the sheet momentarily. But aside from that, we have nothing else for you here. So I just want to thank everybody for watching, and we'll put out an announcement in the Discord server as soon as the map pool is on the sheet and on the website, and we'll have schedules out for the quarterfinals shortly as well. Until then, thanks once again for watching, and we'll see you all next weekend.